Zeus is on his way to the ring.
Wow.
Oh, what a fucking iconic look this is. I'm such a fan of this. This is my shit. As a reminder, this is the end of May. It's Saturday night's main event, and we're about a month prior to No Holds Barred debuting. So this is really the first time the wrestling world is seeing Zeus. And obviously, we know they're hoping it's going to be a summer blockbuster. What a better way to get your word out about your new movie coming out than to have the villain show up right here on NBC, Tony. That's big time stuff.
That's good. And of course, you and I have watched that movie here on this program, and of course, Hulk Hogan murdered a guy in this program in that movie.
Yes, he did indeed.
He did indeed.
By the way, I said it was a month later. It's a week later. The show actually, the movie debuted. I knew it was June, but it's June 2nd.
Okay.
So it's like just a few days after this, which I think is pretty badass. I mean, the weekend before your movie comes out, you've got an opportunity to sort of plug it on NBC on national television as a part of your regular programming. This is fantastic stuff. I was on the edge of my seat for this. I couldn't wait to go see No Holds Barred. And this felt like an even bigger deal for some reason, Tony. I can't make it make sense as an adult, but as a kid, and Casio, you were a fan during this era. I want to hear from you. When Zeus, who you knew was in the movie, is now in the organization, didn't it somehow feel even bigger back then, dude?
Yeah, I mean, he was absolutely terrifying. Him standing in front of that door blocking Hogan, you're like, what is happening right now? They have a monster on their side. Just incredible, man. And then, of course, he's even scarier later on in Friday.
He was in, and it could have been his last movie. He was in the second Batman movie of the trilogy,
The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight. Remember,
Yep.
he was on the prison ship.
Yeah.
And he played such a cool dude, and that's how he was in real life. Tiny was a cool dude, man. He really was.
You know, he was on Cameo before he left us, and we actually had him cut some promos for our group chat.
Yeah.
Casio, do you remember exactly what we had Zeus do and who he did the thing for?
I forgot all about it. You said it. I was like, man, there was a few of them floating around.
Yeah.
Did you ever you ever run into him much, Tony?
No, not after the time in the WWE. I don't think he did anything in WCW, did he?
He did, yeah. He was in WCW in '95.
Okay.
So
all right. There you go. So it shows you how much I remember. But I remember the Zeus from this time.
He also did the World Wrestling Council in Puerto Rico.
Wow.
Oh yeah, we watched that match, Tony. You and I watched him wrestle Abdullah in Puerto Rico. It was really bad.
We sure did. Absolutely.
It was so bad.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
It's one of the worst matches in wrestling history.
Right. You know what? Here's the deal about bad wrestling. It has its place.
Oh yeah, it does. I saw some this weekend.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. But it has its place. It gets people talking, and everybody has their own opinion on what is a good wrestling match, what is a bad wrestling match, and I get it. But then again, I go back and I think about it, how many people back in this era disliked Hulk Hogan, but he made more money than anybody else. So what does that say? I'm trying to, I don't know. I don't know what that says. But they're going to execute this big spot. Oh, by the way, your little redneck buddy that wrestles from Alabama, Adam Priest. Did you hear about him this weekend?
I heard that Bryan Danielson on Action Dean 2, just outside of the stadium there in Glendale, Arizona. I hear right before the main event when Blue Panther was in the ring.
Yeah,
Bryan Danielson came out and put over Bryan Danielson, and then he put over Mad Dog Connolly, who I believe was the opponent for Adam Priest. And he said, and Mad Dog, this will be my first time seeing him, but he's wrestling the guy who I believe is the best independent wrestler in the United States, Adam Priest.
Is that not a great endorsement? That you can't beat that endorsement at all.
The biggest and best possible endorsement. I mean, what else could you want Bryan Danielson to say about you?
Yeah, I know. And I saw Adam Priest the very next night because he was, he hung around, and I wanted to say something to him about it, but I was just kind of busy. But I saw him from a distance. But yeah, I thought you would be interested in that, and you heard all about it. But he's right. Adam's great, man. And listen, Brian Danielson knows talent. He really does.
I said it on Twitter Saturday night, and I think it bears repeating. I really do believe it, and I know when I say it, people think I'm trying to be cute or pick a fight. That's not true, but I really do think if Adam Priest were from the Northeast, he would have already been signed somewhere, Tony.
Yeah.
But being in Alabama, there's not a big independent wrestling scene in Alabama. I mean, there is a scene, but it's not a scene that carries any buzz in the online conversation, is what I mean.
Right.
But, if Adam Priest was a regular with GCW or any of those indies in the Northeast, everyone would be talking about Adam Priest. Because when you see him, you're like, oh, okay. This guy's really good, and he's been really good for several years.
Yes, he has. Here comes the spot that they, I do believe, that they did.
Those flash bulbs, my God.
Yeah. Only did this in Madison Square Garden and here.
Is that a top 5 bump, do you think, in your career, just as far as the ones that really left an impression on you, Tony?
Yeah, I think so. And I think what made it a top 5 bump for me was the fact that I was doing Madison Square Garden.
Yes.
Yeah, and that had a lot to do with it.
CASIO, in the comedy world, we know in the performing world, whether it's a rock act or, a major fight, a UFC, a boxing match, a wrestling show, Madison Square Garden is like the Mecca. I mean, it is the holy grail. It is the number one from a comedy club / theater. So not an arena, not a stadium, but is there an iconic, what is the Madison Square Garden equivalent from like a comedy theater standpoint, do you think?
Not, you say comedy clubs included?
Well, yeah, if you want to. Or is there a theater, or do we immediately go to like
Comedy Store, in LA?
Absolutely.
In the South at Zany's, up north. In New York, they've got all the places, the Improvs and the Cellar, and
is Dangerfield still around in New York?
I don't know if Dangerfield is still around. Yeah. The Improvs are huge now. Improv Denver, and Comedy Works Denver. There's a lot of Denver's a great comedy city now, but I mean, and now it's going to be the mothership in Austin, of course. All the comics are moving to Austin. The Kill Tony, the Joe Rogan effect has taken over. So, that's kind of the it place now, is going down to the mothership in Austin and getting to perform there.
SaveWithConrad.com.
Yeah, I'm Justin Gruffin from Knoxville, Tennessee. What got me to Save with Conrad was the 83 Weeks podcast. I really wasn't thinking about getting rid of any debt. I just wanted to cash out some equity in the house to do remodeling. But I did both, so that was pretty awesome. Worked out great. Redid the foyer, built pantry space, and there was like little odds and ends when I first bought the house that I wanted to take care of, and we were able to take care of it. So, paid off 2 cars and some credit card debt. So probably all in all, get $30,000 in that. And then I got some $30,000 more equity out of the house, and still plenty of equity left over. So payment's good. I lowered my interest rate. They're in a much better spot than I was. Super easy. Everybody was great. Very, very awesome people. Francis and Steve were great to work with. They're awesome. Made it for a very easy, seamless experience. I'd probably say all in all, probably $1,000 a month at least. I lowered my interest rate, especially the way the interest rates are right now, which is, that's amazing. I'm Justin Bruckman from Knoxville, Tennessee. I saved over $1,000 with SaveWithConrad.com, and I did a lot of renovations with that money as well.
NMLS number 2129, equal housing lender. SaveWithConrad.com.